From DeWitt Theater at Hope College in Holland, Michigan, we bring you Inventing America. Tonight, the untold story of the Bill of Rights with our special guests, James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, Patrick Henry, and Thomas Jefferson. Now, here is your moderator, Professor Fred Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome to Inventing America. In the first episode, we talked about how the 13 American colonies declared their independence from Great Britain. In the second episode, we discussed how our founders created a new constitution for an infant nation. But what they created, what today we think of as the miracle at Philadelphia, was anything but that at the beginning. Many of the founders were adamantly opposed. Why? Well, tonight, we'll find out. And we'll also find out why they changed their minds. Each of our guests played a significant role in making that happen. More than 2 centuries later, what the solution they came up with not only defines who we are as Americans, but serves as a beacon to the world. Our first guest is from the state of Virginia. We remember him not only as the 4th President of the United States, but as the father of the Constitution. Please welcome Mr. James Madison. It's a pleasure to have you back on the program, sir.
Well, it wasn't easy.
I don't understand.
I was in frail health my whole life. Imagine how I feel now.
All the better to have you back on the program. You'll be happy that you'll be meeting your old mentor, Mr. Jefferson.
You mean he's joining us?
Indeed, he is. We're also pleased to have back on our program the author of the Declaration of Independence and Mr. Madison's predecessor as president. Today, we remember him as the foremost American champion of human rights. Please welcome Mr. Thomas Jefferson.
My dear Madison, how good it is to see you once more. And if I may say, you look much better than you did the last time I saw you.
Thank you, sir.
And it is good to see you again, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. But I'm not so sure you're going to be happy to meet our next guest.
Oh?
Well, it's because the two of you ended up being political rivals.
Oh, good Lord. That could mean most anybody.
I'm speaking of Mr. Hamilton.
Oh. Well.
Our next guest has only recently found his place in history. He served our nation in so many ways. First, as General George Washington's aide-de-camp during the American Revolution, and later as our nation's first Secretary of the Treasury. Tonight, we remember him as an ardent defender of the Constitution. Please welcome Mr. Alexander Hamilton. It's an honor to have you back on the program, sir.
Thank you. The honor is mine. But I should point out that until we served in President Washington's cabinet, Mr. Jefferson as Secretary of State and yours truly as Secretary of the Treasury, we were allies in the cause of liberty.
Indeed we were. It was only later we became rivals.
Speaking of liberty, our next guest was known as the orator of the Revolution. He was, in fact, a planter and a lawyer by occupation. After the Revolution, he was the first governor of post-colonial Virginia. Please welcome Mr. Patrick Henry. It's an honor to finally have you on the program, sir.
I thought you'd never ask.
Gentlemen, please have a seat. Mr. Henry, we'll begin with you.
Excellent.
Isn't it true, sir, that after you roused your fellow Virginians to rebel against the British, I recall your give me liberty or give me death speech, that you wanted nothing to do with the new federal constitution?
That is correct. The reason I objected.
The reason you objected, sir, is that any jackass can kick down a barn. It takes a skilled carpenter to build one.
Sir, the reason I objected is that it put too much power at the top. It endangered not only the rights of the states, but the freedoms of individual citizens.
What about the slaves your wife's father gave you on your wedding day?
Slaves were not citizens. As a slave owner yourself, you should know better
Please,
than...
gentlemen, please, please. We're just getting started.